Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where currently we are still running a deficit, but our deficit has reduced by a dramatic amount, and our credit cap is also increasing by a dramatic amount. So I feel like this is fairly viable. Now we're currently negative on our bureaucracy as well, which isn't a great thing. But that is going to go away fairly soon, I believe, because, yeah, 10 days left on this incorporation. So that should be absolutely fine. So 5 more days. And there we go. So that's now an incorporated state. Okay, so is this an ongoing cost then? Because this did not come back positive. It didn't change at all. So I'm thinking that this may be an ongoing bureaucracy cost. That would make sense. But let's see here. Okay, so yes, base cost, institution cost, and population cost. So that will be ongoing. That is good to know. Lesson learned on that one. That means that we do need to produce some more government administrations in order to have enough bureaucracy. So, how much does each government administration produce? 65 bureaucracy, which means we need 2 levels of government administration. For now, we'll put it into Silesia, and I do want to go into our construction and make sure that that is top priority. There we go. We'll get that bureaucracy deficit fixed. Fantastic. So that is nicely underway. What else do we have going on here? There's quite a lot. From farms to factories has been successfully completed. Cool? I don't actually know what that does. The tooltips don't say. Fantastic. So there's another confederation here. And yes, we accept that. So where are these guys? Okay. They're out over this way. Specifically, I'm not sure who. But we'll just watch for it. These guys. Got it. So that's part of Prussian Saxony, which is already incorporated. Fantastic. That is, of course, going to increase our bureaucracy costs. We may want to consider getting another 2 government administrations, actually. So let's work on that in Brandenburg for right now. I'm not going to prioritize those constructions, though. We'll leave them where they're at in the queue. They will get done eventually. But we're going to need them. That's very clear. Let's see. Each of these created what? 45? So we're still actually going to be negative right now. We dropped down a little bit further. So I'm going to bump these government administrations up as well. Okay, there we go. So our deficit is continuing to shrink. And that is magnificent. I'm really, really glad to see that. Our economy is actually becoming rather healthy, I would argue. We're not quite to that point yet, but it's doing very well. We're definitely spending a lot on our goods for military buildings. Artillery, opium, ammunition, small arms, fabric, and man-o'-wars. It's a lot. No doubt about that. Road to progress. The industrialists have expressed their satisfaction with the direction being taken by the country in its newly built factories. There's only one possible direction: forward. Progress is like a train that doesn't stop, doesn't wait for anyone. You're either in or out. So we could get loyalists from standard of living increases or interest group approval. I like the idea of loyalists. We've got some radical issues going on here. That's for sure. The number of loyalists is drifting downward a little bit, and the radicals are drifting upward. So that's grim. That said, once we've got this turned around, that's going to be absolutely fantastic for us, because we're going to be able to start doing some work on that. This is still fundamentally broken. I don't know what's going on with the graph, to be honest, but it's fine. It is fine. So we're going to have our government administrations done in about 7 weeks here. And that will, of course, help our taxation. We currently have 5.2% tax waste. So that is reducing our taxation here. That's not great. That is not great at all. So we definitely want to do something about that. These guys want an alliance. I accept. Cool. So we're just kind of, by default, getting a bunch of territory up here, and I like it. That's really good. These guys are loyal to us? Hang on. They view us as their rightful suzerain. Interesting. I'm not sure what's going on with that one, but sure. I don't remember them becoming our vassal in any way, but whatever. So, Mecklenburg wants to join us as well. Consider it done, but where are they? Here. Perfect. That'll be fine. So there's those government administrations finishing. That brings us to minus 16.2. So we still have... Okay, now it's positive as those government administrations are getting employees. I like it. So that'll be fine. Our construction queue is still full here, but we're only losing 12.5k per month now. And that's continuing to drop. Beautiful. So I think we are about to start turning a profit with our construction queue full. That's huge. And an argument for increasing the size of our construction pool once we finish up our payoffs, right? We're 13.3 million pounds in debt. Or I guess this is technically just money, but the indicator is definitely the pound indicator. So we're going to call it pounds. We're 13.3 million pounds in debt. There's a lot of debt there. No doubt about that. But we're making a lot of money at this point. Our GDP has improved to number 3 per capita. Okay, number 4 worldwide. We're currently... Well, we've beaten the East India Company pretty thoroughly. We do need to work on catching up with Great Britain. That's a ways away. And was that the overall GDP that we were just looking at? Or was that GDP per capita? Okay, here's the per capita GDP here. Fascinating. Our per capita is not too far away from being top. Okay, improved fertilizer has now been unlocked, and we're going to grab dynamite. Beautiful. And let's see what we can get in terms of upgrades here to our production methods. So our chemical plants can move to improved fertilizers. That's probably pretty close. Well, actually, our farms will definitely use fertilizers. Okay. That should do the trick there. Cool. So eventually we'll switch to steel frame buildings, but for now this is fine. We'll also eventually be able to expand our construction sector. For the moment, I'm still content. We overbuilt it massively early on. Where are these 56 battalions in reserve at? West Prussia. Okay, this is in the Poland HQ. So in the Poland HQ... Oh, I think our general died that was in the Poland HQ. So we do need to recruit a new one here. Got it. So which one of these do we want to go for? This guy has more traits, so we'll go for this guy. Cool. I'll get a feel for that later on, and I think we're going to need to promote him as well. So let's go back here. And our Poland HQ guy here, he's got 20 currently. Yeah, he can only command 20 regular battalions. So we're going to need to promote him. And that brings him up to 40. And now we still have another 16 battalions in reserve, so we have to promote him again. Bringing him up to 56. Perfect. So that's good. Fabric and wood and opium are all still expensive, and we've got some market access dropping off here. So we should think about increasing our market access. Let's go into the trade mode. Westphalia is, of course, over here. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a railway to that. Actually, there's already one queued up. Hang on a moment. There's already one queued up here. There's not one queued up for Prussian Hesse, which is... Oh, that's just the Prussian market. Exciting. We can see our market access here, right? So we can see that that's 97 there. This is 60. So if we look at our infrastructure, we can see that we need another 30 infrastructure, and a railway will only get us 20. So we need to build 2 levels of railway. There. In Prussian Saxony, we need a level of railway, and in Silesia, we need a level of railway. Should be fine. Okay, so we'll get that all underway. And eventually, that will finish up. But that won't be for a little while. And that's mostly just for the market access. Electrical generation has been unlocked. So we have a bunch new production methods. Let's take a quick look in our buildings here. What can we upgrade? Urban center. We can go to electric streetlights. Anything else in here? There were a bunch of new production methods. I wanted to see... I think it was like cattle farms? Or livestock ranches, rather? Yes. Electric fences. Cool. Okay, that's pretty great. And we'll just proceed on forward. So we can see we've dropped down slightly in our deficit. That's to be expected, though, because we do have temporary costs of converting those over. So that's fine. We do have some unproductive trade routes, which we will go ahead and cancel. Excellent. And we are just about turning a profit now. We've just about balanced the budget here. It's incredibly close. Once some of these constructions come online, it'll be good. A confederation with Frankfurt. We accept. I'm not sure exactly where Frankfurt is. Down over here. Got it. Okay. Echoes of revolutions. A current of radical liberal thought is spreading internationally and has recently reached Prussia. Why should I concern myself with the freedom of the press? All they print is rubbish. If you knew what sort of rubbish doesn't make it to print, you may find the distinction between varieties more important than you'd think. So we could either have this guy change his ideology to radical and the intelligentsia gets a revolutionary hero for 5 years, or minus 50 popularity due to treasonous traitor. Sounds like a menace. Okay, fantastic. Cool. We are very, very close to having our budget balanced now. And that is excellent. That is so good. And we're just constructing with everything we've got. We're going to start paying down our credit soon, and that will save us another 20k. That's huge. We're paying a lot in interest. There's no doubt about that. But I think this is ultimately worthwhile. We're expanding very quickly. Like, if we look at our GDP has just been shooting up. Our GDP per capita is now at number 2 worldwide. And our GDP is at number 4. Not bad at all. Especially considering our population is, I think, quite a bit lower than these others that have high GDPs. So that is absolutely great. That said, our deficit has increased a little bit again due to an increase in goods cost, specifically wood, I believe. And we're going to watch these market accesses as we get all these railroads finished up. Hopefully that will finish up soon. But let's go into the trade window here. Yeah, we can see that this market access is only at 54%. It is going to be enough to finish up just the singular railroad here. But we do have 2 levels queued up. It's only just going to be enough, so I think that's a good call. No problem there. Our credit is definitely not keeping up with our credit cap. As in to say, our credit cap is going up higher than our deficit is putting us into debt. So that is absolutely great. I'm very, very pleased about that. And very soon, we're going to start turning just huge profits with our production here. Another confederation coming in with Waldeck this time. These guys. Got it. So that's fantastic. Let's check in quick on our political lens and make sure that we didn't miss incorporating any states. Looks like this is already in the process of incorporation. Sounds good. I'm still a little bit concerned about these guys, though. So what can we do with this? Can we annex them in any meaningful way? I don't think so. Maybe they can join our confederation. And also, as our GDP is skyrocketing, I think that's probably the reason why all of these AIs are choosing to join our confederation. Out of curiosity, we have a better GDP than Austria now, don't we? Oh, substantially better. Austria is 64.5 million. We're 84.5 million. Nice. So our GDP has eclipsed Austria's quite thoroughly. We're going to be finishing up a bunch of these railways, and that's purely for the market access. We should be seeing all of that market access going away shortly. We do have a bunch of turmoil, and I would like to reduce taxes eventually. But now is not the time for that, unfortunately. Soon. Soon will be the time for that. But with us still at negative 11k right now, we can't quite afford it just yet. So that's fine. We're going to finish up all of these railways in just a couple of weeks here, and we've got a lot more construction underway. So that's great. I'm very, very pleased about that. Now, we need to be thinking about what's going on with Austria. They're at 328 plus 153 battalions. Now, we do have allies, so I think that we will probably be able to stand up to them in a defensive war. We are not in a position to go after them in an offensive war. That is certainly the case. Standard of living is continually increasing. The number of radicals has largely leveled off. So that's good. Yeah, I do like having this locked open. I like to keep an eye on these numbers. So that'll be fine. I am noticing that our deficit is increasing at this moment. And that's largely due to some subsidies, as well as our interest. There's also a good vintage over here. The wine produced in North Rhine has been lauded by... I'm not actually sure how to pronounce this word. Let me see here. Let's see what we've got. This is not helpful. This is giving me, like, nearby vineyards. Hang on a moment. No, Google, I don't want you to know my location. Perfect. Okay, let's get the pronunciation.
Sommeliers.
Well, there you go. Sommeliers. Fantastic. That makes sense. It does look vaguely French, as outstanding. When people say that something ages like wine, they don't always make the distinction between wine and wine. So let me make that distinction. If you can get your hands on a bottle from North Rhine, that bottle can be more than a good time. It can be an investment. So we can get 5% prestige from exclusive wine, or 50% building wine output for 5 years. And that's what we'll do. Beautiful. Okay, Sweden has declared a rivalry with Russia. There's also another confederation happening here. Beautiful. Right up over here in Westphalia. Looks good. Raising concerns. The petite bourgeoisie have expressed their concerns about government decisions clearly favoring the interests of the industrialists. Choosing is always hard, not because the decision is difficult to make, but because the consequences can be a bit inconvenient. Rumors are spreading like smoke from a factory, staining the clear air of Prussia with a dense and vicious poison. Okay, so we could address their concerns and get some interest group approval. Done. We'll address their concerns. We're not going to do anything about their concerns, but we'll address them. Perfect. We also looks like we lost another general. Hang on. Where's this at? We did indeed lose a general, I think, in the North Germany HQ. Yeah, so Wilhelm here could be promoted on up. Consider that done. Did this not go where I thought they would? Yeah, it's in the North Germany HQ. They're in reserve there. But this guy is at 51 out of 80. If we promote him again to the Field Marshal status, yeah, he's not getting them. So we must actually need another general there. Or we have to tick it forward for that to accept? No. Okay, so I guess we do have to have another general in the North Germany HQ. We'll go with this fine gentleman. Okay, and now he'll need to be promoted. So he's now commanding 40 and now commanding 58 battalions. Okay, there we go. That'll do. I don't know why they wouldn't go into this guy. But whatever. I guess it's fine. Cool. So we've got these things employing on up and constructing. And this is looking good. The major issue that I'm having right now is that our deficit went back up, but I think it's going to start dropping again soon. That said, I would like to start paying down this credit. That is definitely a thing that I would like. For sure. Just looking through these things here, electricity input goods shortages and engines input goods shortages. So we know what to do about engines, for sure. We can build motor industries, and they would create the most revenue being built in Pomerania. Okay. There's not very many peasants in Pomerania, that's for sure. We're kind of running low on peasants, for that matter. We'll queue those up. Now, electricity. So we need power plants. It's the same literally everywhere. So we're going to go where there are the most peasants available. And I'm just going to queue up 5. Cool. So those are currently at the bottom of the construction queue. And I do want to make sure that the power plants are... Can I just drag these? No, but what we can do is we can move these up in the queue or move these down. So I'm going to move like 3 of these motor industries to the bottom, and we'll just divide it like in half like this. Okay, our heir was born. Not too bad. Cool. And we've got some low market access, so we can definitely work on that as well. That's kind of a lower priority though, so that's fine. Cool. So we'll keep that as a bottom priority in our construction queue for right now, because that's not the biggest of concerns. It must be on page 2. Yes. Cool. So we'll work our way through our construction queue here, and that'll take a little bit of time before anything else gets added on. Fantastic. And our deficit is chilling at about 8K, 9K. Cool. I'm hoping that that will improve, and it should as we finish up some of these constructions. Now, those motor industries are now underway, so that's good. They're going to be fairly expensive to build, though. Hello, what's this? Sweden wants to enter an alliance. We accept. They're probably going to get into a war with Russia eventually, but I'm sure it's fine. Cool. Our deficit is kind of fluctuating all over right now, but that makes sense. It's just to do with the price of goods. Okay. So those motor industries and power plants are now being constructed. That's very good to see. Food industries finishing up. Excellent. But our national debt is actually completely fine. Like, the interest will eventually become a problem. but I don't think it'll become that much of a problem. Standard of living decreased in Westphalia. That's rude. But our GDP is just shooting up right now. And I'm very glad to see that. So we are going to finish up these motor industries in a few weeks here, and some of these power plants in quite a few weeks. But it is about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we are going to see if we can get that deficit completely gone. Now, we are building some very expensive things right now, I think, and that's the reason why our deficit is a bit higher, but that should be finishing up relatively soon. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including Casserole, JJ Gamer, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, Atala, Shadow Wolf, Jens Graham, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Kadra, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will be seeing you all next time.